Do any of you do like actual for your quarterly or biannual? Do you guys actually do like grappling? Like 50%? It's like I know some agency.
But I think the air marshals do a little bit more training. We've got regular training at least what every 2 weeks or so. So we're in training all the time. But yeah, we do regular drills and.
Oh, anybody else? Is that something that?
No, we do.
For us, like, we started with postal inspection service. Okay. So for a long time, it was just static stuff, right? You know, put your hands above your head, turn on to stop, put your hands behind, blah blah blah, and then you come up and hook. So last couple of years, every field division does it differently. But for us, I'm in San Francisco. We got some newer kids coming in, fantastic. So I said, hey, I want something different. And then so now, like for our DT sessions, you got like the red man with the guy in the fist suit, and you are like grounding and pounding. And like this has been a big shift in our division where people are loving it.
Well, let me tell you something about the red man, because my auntie used to do the red man. And with the red man, Pavlov's dogs, remember every time they hit the bell ring? Yeah. Then they would know that they would get thirsty, they would drink. So the same exact thing was happening with our agency, where we get the red man, one problem, and then here's the big red man. Oh, there's the guy, boom, boom, boom. And then eventually, once I got back into our agency, because then they weren't doing it, they did that in FLETC, and then when they came to our agency, guess what happens? Guess how we're dressed up? Just like this. Like shorts, or not even shorts, like pants, EDUs, and just a t-shirt. And next thing you know, they're talking to us, and all of a sudden, boom, and then we're taking them straight down. And then when we asked them, classes over and over again, literally it was about 5-10 classes, hey, I go, what are you guys doing? Like, because they said they were in red man. So they said that they never thought that we were gonna be doing anything active because there was no red man. Yeah. And it made sense. It was like, oh. So we wear I would wear the knee pads, you know, have the mouthpiece. You're like, okay, that's the guy. That's the guy. And then one of the things that I used to wear, one of the guys I know, this is BJ Penn, he gave me a shirt that says just scrap. So I didn't like that shirt, so I just wore it just so it could get ripped. And then I would wear the just scrap, and then we say, okay, articulate why you did this. Well, the guy has a just scrap. You can just see in his eyes that he looks like he knows what he's doing. Messed up ears, and I was like, oh. So then I stopped wearing MMA shirts, you know, because it trains the people the wrong thing.
So we've also done it where it's like the person in red man just completely complies.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so cause they come in amped, because you're right? Yeah. They see the red man, they're like, oh shit,
yeah.
Here we go. But then it's like, hey sir, can we help you out? You know, what are you doing here? It's like, oh, so would you mind stepping outside? Oh, sure, no problem. But the whole time they are jacked, right? The officers, right? So I mean, that's good. I mean, because we noticed that as well. As soon as an officer went in, the eyes are like, right? And I'm like, oh, we're gonna get down, and you know. But then I think you're right. Is you got to throw in, or either.
Well, it was very good, because once we kind of saw the connection, because we're asking like, what are you guys thinking? And they said, well, we saw you didn't have a red man, so we weren't expecting there was going to be a fight. And this is what we've been doing at FLETC. And then when we came back, all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and call the instructors. So we called the instructors with our agency and said, hey, these are the problems that we're having. And guess what they did? They removed the red man. So that when the guys are coming to our training facility, all of a sudden it's a different mindset. It's like anybody can be the bad guy. And they got to be aware and then learn how to kind of stay calm. So, but that's a good point. And this is when we talk about training scars. To do things over and over again. And guys aren't going to be perfect. I always tell guys from day one, bless you, I always tell guys from the very beginning during the briefing, I said, hey, it takes 5,000 repetitions, 10,000 hours. Do you guys think you're going to be perfect with your technique? No. Let me ask you this. Can you guys be reasonable and do something else that'll be effective? Yes. But it goes, when we ask you why you did certain things, you better be able to kind of explain it and kind of brief it the way that it should. And yeah, and so that's kind of my mindset, because I know working with fighters for years and seeing the performance, I know what we do in training directly impacts what these guys are doing. And the best thing I can say is just have the mentality, like when you're training, understand that you're behind the curve, but understand that it's just going to be repetition over repetition and training, just like the stuff that we did right over here. If I told you, we could probably bring it down a little bit more just to kind of get the repetition, and then eventually we can start to jack it up From that point, then we can do a scenario where he closes his eyes, not even closes his eyes, he's doing a talk, all of a sudden, boom, we hit, and then we get into it. And then you take it to full cuffing, but you've already done full cuffing how many times? Over and over again. And with, like I know Fletzy, and it's not to badmouth Fletzy, it's good for somebody that has no prior background or have no combatives, is that they're checking the box. For us, you can check the box, but it's going to steer. It's not going to be a straight line. It's going to be, you'll be going off to this direction because I had to make the adjustment because somebody was much taller versus somebody that's much smaller. So it's just about thinking and then working with other instructors and also the people that actually train. So one of the things that, you know, with our agency, I think it's like 4 hours. It's really not that much either. It's like every other agency. But as opposed to waiting for the agency to do something for you, how about you guys just take the initiative and talk to people and say, hey, what are you doing? Hey, can we just rep this? So I know that I work with different agencies where they're basically setting aside like, you know, an hour a week just to kind of shadow box. They have a little bob where they're actually hitting and they're thinking about different types of grips to kind of take the person down. And even just doing repetition of like just handcuffing, just basic handcuffing, because you can take the very basics and then when it becomes dynamic, you already have, you refer to let's say the basics of just actual cuffing. It's not going to be perfect in a dynamic situation.